Right, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I've just jumped in. It is time to be ruthless. We started with $500. We're now at 515. We can see Rocket Lab is up 9.49%. It did touch all the way to 12% up. It is starting to drop now, and you're all wondering why I jumped into Robinhood yesterday, but look, we're 5.53% up on Robinhood. Look, it's time to be ruthless. I am extremely bullish on Rocket Lab. I have over 10,000 shares in my own portfolio, but I do expect it to keep running. However, we've only $66 or so in it at the moment. Yeah, so our cost base, or our average cost base is 66, but we do have $66 in it. We're 9.04% up. I am going selling out. Does anyone disagree with me there? We need to get this portfolio running quite quickly. So I am going putting a sell order in. What is are we gonna see will it run up anymore? I think 72.55 of a limit sell order will be best to go. I'm gonna submit a sell order there. Order has been cancelled. Short Rocket Lab position can only be held. How am I doing? I'm creating a short there. What is happening? Guys, does anyone know how to... Oh, here we go. Close position. So, thank God I didn't create. There we go. So, we're selling our Rocket Lab at 72.55. Hopefully, we get it out there. Right, guys. How are we getting on today? Robinhood. I actually want to see where Robinhood's sitting at the moment. 5% up on the day. Our average is 70. It is the furthest push down. Look, we've sold our Rocket Lab there. It is the furthest push down of the whole S&P. However, is Rocket Lab or is Robinhood going to run enough for us? I'm overly confident that Robinhood will run, particularly apart from when the macro does change. So I think what we're going to do, we're going to close the position on Robinhood as well. What are we? I'm going to see, can we get out at 73.30? There we go. So we're out of Robinhood as well. Right, guys. What type of stocks do you think we should be jumping into today? We did have ONDS earnings. ONDS seems to be falling back down. They seem to have had a decent earnings. I haven't completely looked into the whole report. I was going to cover it earlier, but again, I am as sick as a dog still. I'm actually getting a bit better, but yeah, no, I'm still sick as a dog. Okay, so the S&P is up 0.42%. So it did push up for because we were getting some positive news out of Iran. However, Iran has within the last hour officially rejected the US 15 point peace proposal. Iran's conditions to end the war do include immediate end of all attacks and assassinations on Iran, establishment of concrete guarantees against future US attacks. The way Iran is speaking is the fact that the US and Israel planned these attacks on Iran months prior to actually going in, while they were already in peace talks with Iran. So they want concrete guarantees that the US won't win attack again. They want a clear determination and guarantee payment for war damages. I don't know if I can see the US paying war damages out to them. They want international recognition of Iran's authority over the Strait of Hormuz. So I don't think they want to give up that 2 million they're charging per ship. It's the only thing that's really holding up the Iran economy at the moment. They're now charging 2 million per ship to go through the Strait of Hormuz. They also want an end across all fronts, including for all Iranian proxies in the region. Now, I don't know, is Israel going to agree to this? We've already seen Benjamin Netanyahu come out and say that he doesn't completely align with what Trump sees as a peace proposal between Iran and themselves as allies. He sees it as only a benefit towards Trump and not genuine Iranian people. Do let me know what you think about all of this. But going across the market, we do have ONDS down 2.09%. I wouldn't worry too much. Earnings has just occurred. What is happening here where it has completely frozen on me? Let me just reload the screen out. Right. Let's see. So I have re-asked the question on, do we expect to finish this week green? 50% of you now say yes, up from yesterday, and 50. Oh, I don't know why this is completely frozen on me. But if not, we can try and see what we can do. There we go. So ONDS down 2.81%. They did smash earnings. From what I've seen, they're not only selling drones, they have reestablished they want to be a full base play in that drone industry, and autonomy is one that they're really going for. This trading view is really playing up on me today. I do not know why. Internet could be playing up on me. I know we have had severe weather over the past few days, but hopefully we can get trading view back up. If not, we'll see what happens here. It's the joys of going live. At least you know I'm not an AI. It's not. There we go. So Zeta down 0.19%. It did fall off quite heavily yesterday. Iron sitting quite flat, 0.71% up. UMAC still dropping off. We did get into UMAC in our portfolio here. UMAC, we have an average cost basis of 15.45. We're now sitting at 14.49. So yeah, we are down around 3.9% in UMAC. Jumping across, Archer has made a slight recovery today, but then it's sitting quite flat over the past while since Iran has came out and more or less rejected the US peace plans. Do we see a floor at 1550? I don't know. I think we can go for a little bit more pain. I will start running more X spaces. I ran X spaces last night for anyone that wanted to learn a little bit more about Archer Aviation, what's going on at the moment, what is there to be excited about, and what is the floor for Archer Aviation. I have to update you too. I will be traveling to the UK this evening. So if I do jump off early, I will run an X Spaces while I am traveling. So do jump across to X and follow us on X for the X Spaces. And yeah, you can jump in, have your say. We can have a bit of a conversation going on there. Joby up 1% at the moment. Redwire, remember yesterday our friend wanted us to jump into Redwire? Redwire is now up 3.87%. So we would have made a nice little gain there. But why are space stocks up today? Well, SpaceX is looking to IPO as early as this week, file for IPO, and that would mean they would hit the markets around about June time, we're saying. So this whole space sector is going to rally massively. SpaceX looking to IPO around $2 trillion. If you look at the market caps across the whole space sector, we can see the likes of Redwire is sitting at 1.81 billion. We also had NASA come out yesterday and talk about the project of a moon base. So yeah, space stocks are really rallying today. PANW is sitting quite flat, 0.56. Nvidia did set off, I'm not gonna say heavily, but sold off with the macro, but it has been recovering ever since and up to 180. I still think this is an ideal opportunity for Nvidia. Tesla is up 2.23%. Remember, guys, when we were calling at 372 there, what, 3 days ago or so? It dropped all the way to, I think, 360 or 362 or so. Yeah, 364, and we're already back at 390, so it was a great opportunity there. Horizon Aircraft, I did jump into them yesterday in the portfolio. Our cost basis is 145. I'm expecting a nice little swing trade on Horizon Aircraft. I think we're going to climb back up. I think we're gonna touch that level at 180 again. I don't think we'll surpass it until we get an upheaval in this whole conflict, but I do think we will start ticking towards that 180. It'd be a nice little swing trade for this portfolio. Then, for some reason, this only updates once per day. Guys, do let me know if anyone is on Interactive Brokers. How do I see my portfolio update? On my phone, I can see it update um, by the minute, but on this, I can't see it. Maybe it's because we've only just opened the portfolio um, within the last 2 days. But yeah, we are sitting at 500 and um, and look, big congratulations, guys. We're beating the S&P year to date. That's not the S&P year to date is down, and I seen a really funny post the last day that if you didn't trade at all, you'd be beating the S&P this year, which is true to be fair. Lunar again. Chris got into to be following Chris because Chris seems to be making big money. Remember that plays CVV that he brought to us 2 days ago? He made 39% on that. So Chris is our little, what was I calling him yesterday? Peter Lynch. So yeah, Lunar is up 17.41%. ADMA still selling off 12.53% down. It had a painful day yesterday. It was down about 10% and it's fell down again another 12%. ATAI has actually pushed forward today, 6.21%. For any of you guys that don't know, this is a biotech firm. It is a antidepressant producer. I'm not extremely bullish on biotech, but I know some of you guys in the comments are quite bullish on it. Beta Technologies is up 4.35%, and while Saddle is quite bullish on, well, not quite bullish, he is extremely bullish on Beta Technologies. Let me just jump across here. So 29% of people is now saying we'll finish the week green, and 71% is saying no. And that is exactly why I've pulled out of Rocket Lab and Robinhood. I don't think it's going to be as clear cut as we think when it comes to pulling out of Iran. I think it's going to be a lot longer process than it's running too smoothly at the moment. And I think by the time the market closes on Friday, I think there'll be more threats being made. I don't think the US will go in and attack their energy infrastructure, but I do think it will take a lot longer than originally anticipated. Planet Labs pushing back up again. So it's gone back to an all-time high. 36.49, 14.64% up. I don't know. I think it is a little bit overvalued at the moment. It is a satellite imagery company. It is extremely similar to the likes of Black Sky. So anyone that's in Black Sky, you more or less choose between Black Sky and Planet Labs. AMPX would have been an ideal opportunity to jump in yesterday because we're up 2.36%. Rocket Lab, you know it is my favorite, 10.73% up, and we did sell off our Rocket Lab today. Not because I'm not bullish on Rocket Lab, not because I don't see it running any further, but because we had one share in our $500 challenge, and I need this to climb quickly. So we're going to have to do a few swing trades just to get it off the ground, first of all. As we start climbing up, I will be adding to the portfolio every single week, but I wanna keep it as realistic as possible. I want to keep it grounded to the everyday retail investor, so I'm not going to be adding big money that maybe not everyone can afford. We might settle on a amount that I can add every week. But yeah, guys, you control this portfolio. What I buy, what I sell. We'll run polls. If you think the likes of Ondas is not a great thing to be holding at the moment, don't be afraid to jump into the comments. Let us know why. We can run a poll and we can see where we get out of it. Same with the buys. Don't be afraid. It's completely free. Jump into the comments. Let us know what you want us to buy. Tell us the reasons why, and then we'll make an educated decision as a community whether we should buy it or not. We seen Chris yesterday tell us or suggest to us Ondas and UMAC. Yes, they're down at the moment, but I do expect a nice push up, especially what I am hearing that Ondas' earnings were extremely positive. So maybe it was baked in a little bit because they did do their revised guidance a few days prior. So we did see that nice push up from Ondas, and was it just baked in? And we're seeing a little bit of a sell off right now. But pre or yeah, pre-market opening, Ondas was up around 4%. So I'm not too worried, guys. Yeah, so Rocket Lab seems to be pushing forward. Yes, again, to do with the SpaceX IPO, to do with also NASA coming out and saying about there'll be big contract for the moon base. ASTI, I'm actually really bullish on ASTI, up 0.66%. Guys, would you like us to try and get the CEO of Ascent Solar on for an interview? Could be quite an interesting one. Also, I know lots of you guys are very interested in Horizon Aircraft. Because you're interested in Horizon Aircraft, maybe we can try and get Brandon back on for an interview. It'd be our third interview with Brandon. For some reason, TradingView is just playing up with me today. Are any of you guys having the same problem? Um, Walker Wonder says, "Hey, big shout out, my guy. Thank you for coming along and saying hello." EOS, fan favorite, up 0.29%. 5.11. Is EOS a thing you think we should get into? Ion Q, remember we were saying it was a great opportunity at $31. We're all the way back up to 33.03, 1.01. Quantum did have a nice little push yesterday. RGTI is 0.19% up, sitting quite flat, but look, I prefer flat than a push down. Same with Cuba is down 0.27%. INFQ is up 10.44% to 1132. FEIM up to 830, up 832 to 45.59. IBRX up 9.51%. Another one that I believe Chris brought this to us, so that is not. Do you know what I'm gonna do? Because this keeps lagging out. I'm gonna remove that from the screen and we can try again. Hopefully it'll be a little bit better. But I don't know, is it just this stream is playing up on me? Going across then, SoFi is 1.26% up. I can see it's still lagging. Velo is down 22.19%. Did Velo have earnings? I believe they may have. They're down 22.41%. Could be a good opportunity to get in. They're a 3D printing company and they helped with the likes of the Falcon 9 build out for SpaceX. Rob up 7.17%. Again, we bought into Robinhood yesterday. People may have been questioning why I was buying into Robinhood yesterday. I thought it was extremely undervalued. We've seen loads of polls going around X. I can't see Robinhood pushing forward again. guys, majority of you use Robinhood, so of course Robinhood was going to push forward again, up 7.04%. They're part of the S&P. They were actually the worst performer in the S&P year to date. So I did expect a nice bounce with Robinhood. And yes, I did sell out today because look, we only had half a share of Robinhood. I could hold it and go long term with it. When I'm starting a portfolio with $500, I need to make a few swing trades, and we're gonna have to be ruthless. Going from $500, we're not gonna be able to go long term and just hold it out and wait. As our portfolio start progressing, then yes, we will be able to be a lot more long term with our positions. But at the moment, we just need to be extremely ruthless. But guys, do let us know what you need to get into. Uh, do you think eVTOLs are great? What is the massive thing holding it back? Battery or loss? FEA certification is what's holding it back. But yeah, we can say battery too. We know the likes of Joby, those questions around the payload. Will they be able to hold for people with the current battery technology? That's why I'm starting to get bullish on AMPX and the silicon based batteries. Battery technology will progress. We know that will happen. I said 5 years ago, before this whole AI boom, I think battery technology will have excited people an awful lot more. But I feel like battery technology is kind of being forgotten about with this whole AI boom. And I do expect the battery technology sector to start getting a little bit of love now as we start to see AI start playing out. Nicely. And that's not because batteries and AI have anything to do with each other, but as less speculative now and more common people are starting to see play out, I do think battery technology is a way to go. And Ampex, I think Amprius is a really nice buy. Maybe I could get the Amprius CEO on for a bit of a chat, learn a little bit more about Amprius. From what I'm seeing, is quite an exciting company. Unusual Machines, again, within the last week, it blew, and Ondas Holdings did scoop up a nice amount of share. So we do have exposure to UMAC through Ondas. I'm not a specialist when it comes to actual drone technology, but Chris or Vast CNC is a big specialist when it comes to drones, and I do trust him that it was a great entry point for UMAC there yesterday. Yes, we are down at the moment, but look, I'm not that worried at the moment when it comes to the likes of UMAC. What are we down? We're down 6.2% on UMAC. On that, we're down 4%. And then Horizon Aircraft, we're at 1.7% down. Where is Horizon Aircraft trading at the moment? 43. If we break that 140 level, I am tempted to throw a little bit more money into Horizon Aircraft. Now, we can go across the industry and we can say what is looking like beautiful opportunities today. At the moment, you can say I'm obsessed with eVTOLs, but I genuinely don't think the eVTOLs are the way to spring forward at the moment with a portfolio that I want to move quickly. I think the eVTOLs are such a long-term play, and I think look, Joby Aviation brought out their video there last week on them flying around San Francisco. This should be the most bullish video we have ever witnessed in the eVTOL industry, and it tanked the stock. So there's nothing the likes of Archer Aviation could bring out that would actually trump what Joby Aviation have done. So I believe they're stacking news at the moment. Um, they've done 8 hover tests in 13 days. That's vertically taken off and landing, and then hovering to show that they can prove out their vertical takeoff and landing. Will we get the transition? I don't believe the transition has happened yet, but I do think they will hold out to actually announce a transition when the market starts going green again. Because there's no point you could throw the most positive news out, and unless it's actual FAA certification going through, I don't think anything's going to move them at the moment. So I wouldn't be overly bullish going into the VTOL industry as of yet. to do something like a swing trade in at the moment. Like the Redwire, I still think it's a great opportunity at the moment. I am expecting to reclaim all the way back up to $15, maybe push towards that $20 range as we start getting contracts through. But again, do I see that in the near term? Not particularly, but then with a SpaceX IPO, it may push it up. Redwire is the most undervalued stock, I believe, in the space sector at the moment for opportunity-wise. The price to sales at the moment is completely, um, different to the likes of a Rocket Lab or an ASTS or Redwire is a nice little opportunity at the moment. NVIDIA actually is a nice opportunity if I had quite a bit of capital that I think I could grow over a long term time horizon. Same with Tesla. I think Tesla, anything under this $400 range, I think is a great buy. So if you have enough Tesla and you are excited about what Tesla's doing, whether it's with the Optimus robot, whether it is the energy generation, whether it is full self-driving, I do honestly believe Tesla within the next 5 to 10 years will start pushing heavily. I think it will have its NVIDIA moment. Horizon Aircraft, good opportunity at the moment, but I'm not extremely confident that it's gonna hold this 140 base. We did touch what yesterday? 135, but we seem to have rebounded a little bit. Again, we're just getting lower lows. 143 we're sitting at the moment, but if we hold that 140, it is a good opportunity. But again, what positive news can we see come out of Horizon Aircraft? We know they're going for their full scale prototype, but that's not gonna be announced within the next few days. So, yes, we could bring on an interview with Brandon, talk a little bit about maybe we'll get more investors. We know Horizon yesterday did have a nice amount of volume, and even today, um, their volume seems to be pushing quite nicely. So maybe we can be the catalyst. Maybe we can just get um, Brandon out there to more people again. Lunar, I said, I think it's a quite a bit overvalued at the moment. Yes, we're going through contracts with NASA, but they've had 2 partially successful missions. Am I waiting for a successful moon landing? Potentially. I'm not extremely bullish on Intuitive Machines. I enjoy what they do. I like what they do. Um, we need to see, is it a software issue or is it a hardware issue that causes the lander to keep tipping over? Is it coming in at too steep of an attack? Is it coming in at too high velocity for the legs? I don't know, are the legs breaking or are they just tipping over? Are they at the wrong angle? But surely, third time lucky for Intuitive Machines. ADMA, I don't actually know an awful lot about them. I forget who it was suggested we add ADMA to our watch list. Again, I said I'm not extremely bullish on this whole smaller market caps in the biotechnology industry. I genuinely believe it is one of the biggest monopolies being held by the likes of J&J, um, Pfizer. I just think once they see an opportunity there, they either acquire you, they buy your product, or they just rip you off. So I wouldn't be extremely bullish on the biotech industry. But look, that's just me going on. Um, Walker says, think it's Green Week. But you know, with this conflict at the moment, it can all change at the flick of a switch. It all depends on Trump at the moment. If Trump keeps coming out with these positive statements about peace talks with Iran, it seems to be that, and do you blame anyone? Iran keeps putting out propaganda anyway. So when Iran's denying that they're speaking to the US and then they're coming out and saying, oh, yes, we have been speaking to the US, um, I would trust Trump over what Iran's saying. So and I think the market does too. Even when Iran said that they've rejected the peace talks, the market's still pushing forward. And at the end of the day, does the market care if the US pull out and the conflict still continues between Israel and Iran? I don't know necessarily as long as the Strait of Hormuz gets freed up. And we know I've seen ships moving in the Strait of Hormuz, um, recently. The only ones that are not going through are the US and Israeli ships at the moment. However, Iran are taking a nice little pay cut out of it. They're charging $2 million per ship to move through. So, there's a nice bottleneck happening there. Do we expect oil prices to drop on news that not necessarily. Once conflict ceases, you will see oil prices drop, but again, you have a bottleneck in there to get the ships through, and the ships can only get through, a certain amount at a time, so it will take time, and again, Iran have up on a dozen mines inside the sea there, so that'll have to be cleared, and they said it can take up to 5 days to clear that. So, yeah, it's an interesting one. We also have information that now, in addition to all these Marines, 2,500 Marines and 5,000 sailors. Now there's 2,000 paratroopers ready to go in, um, and they're due to arrive to Iran on Friday. So it's all. Um, we'll see what happens there. It wouldn't surprise me. Maybe we don't get an attack on the energy infrastructure, but maybe we do get boots on the ground to take control of the northern shore of the Strait of Hormuz. That'll be the southern side of Iran. So, would that be better than attacking the infrastructure? I don't know necessarily. You have boots on the ground. Once you have boots on the ground, it can turn into an Iraq level war then. Really, the US only have to seize, only, I'm saying, but they have to seize about 35 miles back from the Strait of Hormuz, and I don't know how long of a coastline there is there. It's a few hundred miles anyway, but it's 35 miles back because these short range drones have to be in line of sight of these ships. These short range drones are remote controlled, and yeah, they have to be in line with the ship. There's a mountain range about 35 miles back, which plays into the US's benefit. Long range drones aren't likely to be able to hit these ships because the long range drones have to be set on a static target. So that's why you're seeing them attack the likes of buildings that will not move in the likes of Qatar, etc. And then they do have around 100 ballistic missiles that could attack ships. However, they think they're saving them for if the US try to escort um ships in the Strait of Hormuz, and that's why we're seeing the US hold back from the Strait of Hormuz with their marine assets, and that's why you'd expect the likes of ground troopers to go in, clear that out, and then you'll see, the US go in, and it's interesting, that is why Trump was asking for assistance from the allies, because it would be much safer to send the allies in that have not attacked Iran, um, to escort ships through the Strait of Hormuz. However, the Allies, of course, didn't want to go in because more than likely they will be attacked because anyone that is doing assistance to the US is against Iran. So it's a little bit strange at the moment. I'm trying to get my head around the conflict. Do let me know if you have any more information, or if you think I'm wrong, feel free to jump in. Dave says, as long as oil flows through the strait and price falls, we're okay. World is a wash in oil, in my opinion. I agree. Christian says, be sure to hit the like button. Yeah, do smash that like button. I am sorry today. This stream seems to be running slowly. I don't know, is it the computer? I don't know, is it the internet? I know we've had bad storms at the moment here, so it could even be the internet here. But if it's running okay, do smash that like button. It really helps me out. For any of you that have just entered the stream, remember we bought into Rocket Lab? Remember we bought into Robinhood? Yes, I said we have to be ruthless today. We have to be extremely ruthless. We've already grown a portfolio from $500 to 515. Doesn't sound like much, but if you're talking $50,000 and you've grown it by 1,500 in a day, um, yeah, it seems to be running quite nicely. But the likes of Rocket Lab did push forward about 10% today, and it's all to do with the SpaceX IPO. It's to do with NASA coming out and saying that there'd be big contracts for a moon base. So yeah, I do expect Rocket Lab to keep running, but we only had one share in Rocket Lab. So to get this portfolio moving, it's not every day you're going to get a 10% stock move. So look, that's a year in the S&P, and if you compare it to this year's S&P, year to date we're doing quite good. Same with Robinhood. Remember Robinhood yesterday? I did sell off Robinhood today, up 7%. It was the worst performer in the S&P. Everyone was wondering why I'm buying Robinhood. They thought there'd be no big catalyst coming up, but guys, you all use Robinhood, so as soon as the market turns green, of course Robinhood was going to bang. So yeah, Robinhood did sell out 7% up. Ondas did report earnings today. We're currently down 3.1%, but I'm expecting a recovery there. UMAX seems to keep falling. We're down 6.2%, but look, let's not worry too much about it. Horizon Aircraft, we are due to go green any moment. Now, our cost basis is 145, and look, it's reporting last is 146, but we have to take in the brokerage's fees into that too. Then jumping across, so 69% of you guys now say you expect to finish the week green, and 31% say no, you don't. Okay, so let me run a new poll. We do have a deadline of Friday for a peace plan, a ceasefire to take place from Trump. Do we think it will take place by Friday? Let me... jump in, vote on that. Do you think we'll have a ceasefire in Iran by Friday? Personally, I don't believe so. Vertical's getting beaten up. Yeah, I said once Vertical dropped below that $4 range, I said that was good night to Vertical. I think they are in extremely dangerous... Or what am I doing? I think they're in extremely dangerous territory at the moment. Look, 265 down 7.99%. They fell off after earnings. They only have enough cash to get them through this next financial year. What's their market cap sitting at the moment? 261 million. They haven't got the volume there to allow institutes to buy in a big way. They're not going to buy in if they can't get their money out. 261 million. What? Someone jump in and let me know what their capex is. I think it could be good night Vertical very, very soon, within the next year, 2 years. I spoke about it last night. Do you think Archer Aviation will buy them up? They're in litigation with Vertical over IP infringement. Guys, I am telling you now, if Archer Aviation win the battle for IP infringement against Vertical Aerospace, that's good night Vertical Aerospace, because yes, they have their VX4 prototype, but their sole product to go out will be the Velo aircraft, and Archer want them to stop using it. They want to be paid financial compensation. It's good night Vertical Aerospace, I truly believe. look, I know the other big eVTOL content creator came out. I'm not even going to name him. He came out and he said, I'm not going to mince my words. In other words, he says anyone that is backing against him's an idiot. But we shouldn't be analysing the stock. But to be fair, he can call me an idiot all he wants. I think it's good night vertical airspace. Trust me. And we'll see who's right. One of us can be right. One saying it's going, the other saying it's not. Oh, if we do get a nice contract, if we do get a big institution buy-in, fair enough, but I don't know. Hi, how many shares and what average do you get? Ondas, please. Okay, so Ondas, we have currently, at the moment, we have 4.6 shares of Ondas. You said it, not me. How many shares and what average do you have of Ondas? Currently, we have 4.6 shares of Ondas, average price of $10.95. It's currently trading at $10.57, so we are down 3.5%. Now, I will be honest, we did get into Ondas knowing full well earnings could either go up or down. So the better position at the moment, from what my understanding is, and Chris may jump into the stream, I know he's probably listening to a Ondas earnings review at the moment. So if he comes in, we may even open the spaces up. We could get Chris on to actually speak about Ondas. Now it's getting on the whole drone industry. But UMAC, he said, was a great entry point yesterday. We got in at 15.45. We're currently down 5%, so it's 14.64. So if you do believe in unusual machines and drone components, surely it's a great entry point in there at 14.64, and we have 3.2 shares of that. Guys, is there any stocks you want us to start jumping into? Do let us know. 261 million market cap. Okay. Market cap 262. So yeah, we're sitting around 260 million market cap, guys. I think it could be a long day. I think it could be a long day for them. I have a lot of Ondas. Average is 10.50 and Trump's son is on the board. Okay, that makes me a little bit more bullish on Ondas, my guy. Trump's son's on the board of Ondas. We know that's going to do well. I've said about these drones, and I said it even with Archer and the Omen, and because I was listening to another podcast about the Omen, and it wasn't even about the Omen, it was about the military conflict. Nothing to do with Archer. This guy didn't even mention Archer Aviation, but he came out and said about Andrew's Omen drone and how he can see the Omen actually get a bigger order now because the UAE have realized they were caught with that pants down and are fully stocked up, fully supplied, fully able to engage in that type of combat. But across the whole drone sector, if you're looking at the defensive side of the drones, I think it's going to be a great time where even if this war does cease, you're going to see not only people stock up on drones for defensive basis, but you're also going to see countries replenish what they have lost during this conflict. So I think it's a great time to be in drones. And again, I've said, if you're bullish on eVTOLs, I can't see why you wouldn't be bullish on drones, because for eVTOLs to succeed, you will need the drone industry to succeed, and the drone industry will succeed first. And I think Red Cat is in tight. Oh, sorry, Trump's son is on the board of UMAC. No, that's okay. I probably took you up wrong there, my guy. So Trump's son is on the board of Unusual Machines, not ONDS. Thank you so much. Interesting. Okay, so jumping back across. what can we see going on today? Planet Labs. Did you manage to get a re-entry into Planet Labs, Christian? I know you sold right up at the top here. We seem to have pushed back to an all-time high, so it was a great entry point yesterday. I remember saying to Chris live on stream, look, what do I know? Chris seems to be defying the odds at the moment. He made 39% on CVV the day before he was suggesting it to me, and I said, I don't know if I get in, and then he made 39% straight back out. He jumped into it wasn't Planet Labs, it was Intuitive Machines yesterday, wasn't it? He jumped into Intuitive Machines, and I said I thought it was a little bit overvalued, but Intuitive Machines up 14.79% today, and it did push much higher. So again, you need to be following our version of Peter Lynch, Vast CNC. He does be getting a lot of these right. Christian says, you told me and I bought Planet Lab and bought in a few weeks ago. Thank you so much, my guy. Yeah, Planet Labs, it seems to be pushing quite nicely. I don't know how long it will last at these sort of levels. I do think we will get a little bit of retracement. If I was to get into Planet Labs, I'd be thinking, I don't know, around the $30, maybe $28 to $30. Christian sold that and LMT. Yeah, I think you were fantastic to get out there. That was at the all-time high. You got out and it did fall back. And did you reallocate into anything, or did you just hold it as cash, Christian? Do let me know. AMPX, I am gutted I'm not in this stock, but yeah, again, I'm holding my ground. I think $14 is my entry point in my own portfolio. However, it is a community portfolio on this side, so if you see a great opportunity in the likes of Ampex, do shout, let us know. Rocket Lab, we did sell off today. I don't think it's going to be as smooth sailing. I do think we're going to get a nice green candle eventually on Rocket Lab, and I do think once SpaceX do IPO, I think we're not going to see these levels for too long. However, in this community portfolio, I cannot guarantee anything, and I just have to grab that profit when I can. To be up 10%, I'd be an idiot not to take it at the moment, because even if Rocket Lab doubled, what would we have doubled to? What, $120 from 60? So I needed to just take the 10% profit and keep going, guys. It's going to be a lot of swing trading at the moment just to get this portfolio off the ground. Once we get it to around $10,000, then we can start securing up things. We can start maybe running a few options. But at the moment, it's going to be a little bit more risky. I think we need to build a little bit more excitement as a community. You can buy, you can tell me when to sell. I think it's a nice little project we're running here. Okay, so do we think we'll see a ceasefire by Friday? 25% say yes, 75% say no. Okay, I have another poll coming up here, guys. So okay, I know we're having a green day, but do you see any good opportunities in the market today? Yes or not at the moment? And when I say not at the moment, I know a lot of stocks are in a depression state. However, I think we all can fully agree once this conflict does end, we're going to see a nice push forward. But I'm fully aware that we can see re-escalation pretty quickly. So that's what I mean about not at the moment. There could be better opportunities around the corner. So do let me know. 100% say not at the moment. I don't know. ASTI seems pretty interesting at the moment. We are hitting a nice downtrend there, but I think ASTI could be a buy at the moment. Ascent Solar. These guys are going for space-based solar as well. I do think Ascent Solar is a nice fly is up a bit. I think the whole space sector is. Are you in Firefly, Christian? I don't know. Once Firefly prove out their launch capabilities, I do think I'll jump in, but I don't know. At the moment, it's just too. I don't know. I wouldn't be firing into Firefly at the moment. I'm just building up my Rocket Lab position in my own portfolio. I think these are great levels. I genuinely, and people are going to think I'm an idiot, but anything under $80, I think Rocket Lab is an absolute steal. I don't think once we get a SpaceX IPO, once we start getting that excitement around Neutron again, it seems to have died down a little bit, that excitement, because it was pushed back. Once we start getting that excitement around Neutron again, I do think it'll be well over that $100. Christian says they have been to the moon. And yes, 14% of my portfolio. Okay. How big are you in Rocket Lab, Christian? Do let me know. Are you primarily space over eVTOL now? Or are you bigger in eVTOL? I know you're a big Joby investor as well. But do let me know. IonQ, is anyone bullish on quantum? The only problem with quantum at the moment, I feel like quantum's in the same type of state as eVTOLs. I think it's going to be a slow little burner, but I do think quantum, once it takes off, it is going to take off extremely quickly. IonQ seems to be the best bet. We did say $31 was a great little buy. We did see it drop all the way down to 30.50, but IonQ could be. I sold out a while ago. Both. Okay. RGTI. Any of you guys into the likes of Regatti or quantum computing? Do let me know. They're sitting quite flat today. I genuinely believe if I was to get into quantum, it would only be IonQ until I start researching it an awful lot more. INFQ up 9.71% at the moment. Can you do something for me, guys? See that live chat there, yeah? Go down to the bottom right corner and you'll see a reactions button. I'll start pressing it here. So there's either hearts or there's parties or there's hundreds. You'll probably see me doing it now in 2 seconds. If you could bang that about 100 times, do that as much as you can, because that helps us get pushed out in the algorithm. And also bang that like button while you're at it. And if you haven't, bang that subscribe button, because we are going to grow this portfolio. We have $500, 5,000 people, and we're going to get this to 100K as quick as we can. I have QBTS and Qubit, and I wish I had a different one. Lots of you guys are bullish on quantum, aren't you? Do you think we should buy into quantum in our portfolio? Could be an interesting one. FEIM is up 7.15%, IBRX up 10.18%. Anyone in IBRX? They seem to be pushing forward quite nicely. SoFi, again, everyone was wondering why I jumped into Robinhood yesterday and not SoFi. And you see what I meant? SoFi was, or not SoFi, Robinhood was being extremely depressed in the S&P. And I thought once these markets kind of relieved themselves, I think there was going to be a big boom. And we were right. 7% up we got out of Robinhood. It's now down to 5.52% up. So it was a great little trade for us. And look, there's a gap there that'll probably be filled. So I think we done a nice little trade on Robinhood. Do you agree with me? Do you think we done a better bet there Well, it's easy to say now because we got out at 7% up, but can you see why I went into Robinhood over SoFi? I think SoFi is going to be a slow little burner. I think it's a great investment, long-term investment. I think SoFi is unbelievable, and I think we will keep pushing forward. I do question some of the analysis that do go with SoFi, but yeah, Velo down 20.49% could be a ideal entry point if you're bullish on them. 3D printer, they did help with the Falcon 9 print. And yeah, Hood 5.52% up. Vu seems to be pushing forward again, which is quite nice. Christian is not a sci-fi bro. Hood not good. Oh, Hood is better. I thought you meant Hood is not. Rolly says, picked up my first 30 shares of Ondas today and added another 7 Kratos. Guys, do you want us to add into Kratos? That could be an interesting one. I'm an absolute idiot. I should have got into Kratos in my own portfolio when it was, well, I think it was $28, $29 when Francisco started saying it to me. Francisco's been in it a long time. But yeah, Kratos is pushing forward. Christian says sweet. Ondas could be a another buy at the moment. I don't want to overexpose in Ondas though. Seems to be consolidating here, doesn't it? That's a nice little fib there. I think we're gonna get a nice push up, you know. I can see us going back above 15 pretty soon. I can see us going back above 15 extremely soon, not gonna lie. We're continuing the uptrend as well. Yeah, guys, I think Ondas is a great buy, but that's not financial advice. I just don't want to overexpose in that $500 portfolio at the moment. But look, if you guys want us to, we can. Have they broken the uptrend now? $14.43 could be a nice position for a buy into unusual machines. I don't know. I think you get your exposure with Ondas, but Chris does reckon that unusual machines is a really nice buy right now. And we heard Christian say that Trump's son is on the board there. Archer Aviation has fallen through 450 or 550. 480 could be the next zone, guys. 480 definitely could be the next zone. I can't see this changing until conflict eases. Again, I said I think they're stacking news. I really think they're stacking news. We've seen Joby come out with the most bullish video you could have had in the VTOL industry, and it tanked. It went under $8. It's since recovered. It's just over the $9, but we need Joby Aviation to hold that $9 by end of week, and also we need Archer to hold that 550. If we finish under 550, I think we're going to 480. Once we go into 480, guys, could be 350. But yeah. Redwire 3.2% up. We did have a guy yesterday saying jump into Redwire. Maybe we should have, but yeah, the space industry has been pushing forward. Then jumping back, let me see, is anything going on at the moment? I want to see if we can get an update on Ondas, what's been happening. Joby have just put out, they've been named as one of Fast Company's most innovative companies for 2026. Nice little one there, but I don't think it's going to move anything. Yeah, so as of an hour ago, Lunar was up 20%, Firefly was up 18%, MNTS up 16%, Black Sky up 15%, Planet Labs 13%, Rocket Lab 13%, ASTS 12%, even Virgin Galactic. Remember, Anne wanted us to get into Virgin Galactic yesterday. We would have been 11% up. I'm not bullish on Virgin Galactic, but I said if you guys want us to jump into Virgin Galactic, look, it's community portfolio, and if you think we can make a little swing trade on Virgin Galactic, it would have been a little nice one. It would have been 11% up. Redwire went up 9%. As of this guy saying it, and VOYG did go up 7% as well. And Chris was on about VOYG yesterday. Yeah, there's a lot of talk around the SpaceX IPO. So they're looking to file for IPO as soon as this week, and that would mean they'd hit the market in June. Sidhu, where are Sidhu Space now? Sidhu's up 18. I do remember when they ran massively, though. When was it? It was ages ago, wasn't it? I don't know if I'd go into Sidhu. I'm not going to lie to you. If you're in it, fair play. Yeah, so Iran have now come out and said, considering that all American bases in the region have been destroyed, American commanders and soldiers have fled and taken refuge in hideouts outside the bases, and we are searching for them. These guys are full of bollocks, aren't they? Iran have just come out and said it will not allow President Trump to dictate when the war ends. You kind of are, though, aren't you? You've now talked on Trump's terms, so of course you're going to let him. Iran says they want the full war to end, not just a ceasefire. I agree with that. That's probably the one positive thing they have came out with, the only truthful thing that they've came out with. Iran rejects ceasefire talks. Well, I don't care if they reject ceasefire if they agree to a complete war end. Not going to lie. Iran military says it will open up surprise fronts if the US launches ground attacks on its island. Iran would want to be very careful, because if they provoke Trump too much, they are going to cease to exist, put it that way. I think the only thing that is helping Iran at the moment is that Russia themselves have come out and said they don't want the US to attack the Russian-built energy infrastructure in there. And I think it will hurt the relationship with China too if the likes of the oil does get slowing down. Apart from that, Iran are playing a dangerous game, because if America just wanted to go full force on them, could be a long day. Let's jump back to the poll. 25% of you says yes, you do see good opportunities in the market today. If you see good opportunities in the market today, do jump across and let me know what opportunity do you see that is good today. I want to know for our portfolio. We can get it moving. I got 1K in reserve when HOVR hits $1, another 500 when it hits 0.5, another 250 for when it hits 25, etc. I'm gonna be real, yeah. If it started hitting 25, I think there's so long you can do it, yeah. I get what you mean. At $1,000 at one and over 500, do you know you can play that into complete capitulation? 25 cent. If it hit 25 cent, I think I'm pulling the plug. People will think I'm heartless for saying that, but if it got down to 25 cent, Vast, my guy, you made some money today. Do you know what? You yesterday, was it Intuitive Machines? And I was saying, nah, I think it's overvalued, and it shot up 17.24%. Vast will be living on an island pretty soon, you know. He made 39% the day before, and was it CVV? Intuitive Machines now up 17%. Vast is actually flat. Is that because you're so heavy in drones, though? I've seen UMAC has been pulling back. ONDS, they seem to have had a positive earnings, didn't they, my guy? They're 0.98. Was it just baked in when they revised earnings? And do you think it was just baked in that everyone got excited and pushed it up? I've seen HOVR go from 23 cents to $4. I'll take my chances. Yeah, like we started covering HOVR when it was at 50 cents, 60 cents or so. But I don't know if we re-hit 23 cent. Lightning doesn't always strike twice, my guy. No. Brandon did tell me that they do, or they can get a bailout by the Canadian government to make them comply under NASDAQ. However, if we hit 23 cent, I don't know. I don't think retail will let it hit 23 cent, put it that way. But retail give up on it. You can't say they didn't, because they hold it extremely tightly. And didn't I say what happens at 180? We drop through. Once we didn't re-hit that 180, people started getting worried and thought, do you know what? I'm going to take my profit now. And then it just caused a complete fall. Volume seems to be quite high at the moment, 1.18 million. Go Joby. Yes, Joby are doing amazing at the moment. I really enjoyed their video. Dylan got his merch there yesterday. I am currently waiting on mine to come through, but once it comes through, I will be wearing it on the stream. Like I wore the Archer merch, I will be wearing the Joby t-shirt as well. So I'm excited to get the Joby merch too. My speculative play is LASC. That's what Vast is mad about, isn't it? Isn't that the laser? Laser photonics 0.98 is down 5.57. This could be a good opportunity today, could it? What? It was at 37 cents. When? Only last month. Ooh. Seems to have found that level again, but I don't know. If I see, people aren't seeing how big the balloon deal with Palantir is going to get. We're coming for ASTS. I'm a wage war with Space Moth for my due diligence. Weaponize your autism. You think it's going to compete with ASTS? I think we should load up. Maybe we should load up on. I'm selling off my position and going harder into ONDS. Definitely do not advise. Right, let's run a poll. Do we increase our position in ONDS today? Chris is saying that ONDS are coming for ASTS. And guys, if you've just joined the stream, do smash that like button. And also, if you've just joined the stream, see that bottom right corner where you see the reactions, where you see the smiley faces and the party faces. Do smash that about 100 times. It really helps with the portfolio. This is by far our most active live stream yet when it comes to market opening. I think the the portfolio really helped us out, didn't it? Opening one of them. Even though it's only $500. But yeah, look, we've increased it by about 3%, so I love it. Why is Archer tanking today? There's no good news. There's nothing that can bring Archer up at the moment. Archer will keep falling until this conflict does end. So I'm expecting 480. If it doesn't end then, I'm expecting 350, and I think, yeah, we'll settle out at 350. I'm not worried. Archer are putting up jobs left, right, and center, so they're showing growth. They've done 8 flight tests in 14 days, so they're still pushing forward. If you liked Archer at $8, if you liked Archer at $10, they're a better company today than they were back then. They're more back to their value at the moment. Remember when I said Archer was overvalued? No matter how much we were excited, no matter how much I love Archer, I said we were extremely overvalued. And everyone said no, they weren't, but we're starting to jump back to fair valuation now. I want to know why Archer is down after that post with Andrel. Archer are going to continue falling down. Nothing can hold it up. After Joby's big video, the most bullish news we could have had in the eVTOL industry, sadly, Archer can't do nothing that could even compete with that at the moment, and it didn't do nothing. So I think they're stacking news. Most stocks is a good buy today. It's like a sale in a sweet shop for anyone in it for the long term. Yeah, I completely agree. For the long term, I think the market is extremely depressed at the moment. I think you're great. Make some great buys. With this community portfolio, we're going to have to play it a little bit different. We're going to have to be extremely ruthless. You've seen, I love Rocket Lab. You know how much I love Rocket Lab, guys. But I sold out a Rocket Lab 10% ox. We have one share in it. And if I want to get this portfolio moving quickly, I'm going to have to do swing trades just to start building. Once we get to around $10,000, then we can start going towards a long-term effect with the portfolio. But at the moment, it's going to be a lot of swing trading just to make quick money and get the position rolling forward. So, yeah, I completely agree. In the long term, there's a lot. I am trying to be a little bit sneaky in this market at the moment. And look, I could get caught with my pants down, but it's going to be a bit of fun, isn't it? This is a long time horizon play, not a tourist destination. Eve is my top eVTOL holding today, up 8%. Love it, my guy. Iridium having a healthy run too. Space sector is on fire today. The space sector is doing really well, isn't it? Eve, that is. I got 1K for when Archer hits $3, another 500 for when it hits 150, etc. If Archer hits 150, yeah, is it time for me to call it a day? I don't think we're going anywhere near 150. $3 potentially. 150 would be dangerous, guy. But if this war keeps continuing, yeah, it could. Potentially could, but they have $2 billion in cash. Their cash will far outweigh their market cap at 150. Would they do a share buyback? Potentially. I don't know. Would it be worth it? Did you see the figure robot at the White House close his phone? Look at the short Archer, don't tell Dylan. Kidding, of course. Right. Let's see what's happening across the market. 6 votes are saying yes, we should increase our position in Ondas today. Okay, so we're 3.7% down. Guys, we'll do our first buy of the day. What we'll do, we'll add another 50. That'll be 20% of our portfolio in Ondas. Now, let me see where Ondas is. It looked like it was back on the climb, didn't it? Yeah, it seems. Okay, we'll go for 1050, and we'll see if we'll get in. There we go. 50 of Ondas. That'll be 20% of our portfolio will now be in Ondas if we can get in there. Horizon Aircraft up 2.4%. We are. I'm telling you, if Horizon Aircraft goes up to 160, we can make a little swing trade on that too. Google is going for neutral atom compute. INFQ has been running on the news. Iran rejected peace and made more demands. Yeah, Iran wants a complete guarantee that the US won't go back in under no circumstances. No, I can kind of see what they're saying to an extent. They were saying that the US was planning a war against them while they were in the middle of peace talks, which is kind of true because CIA were doing investigations into Iran, and that whole strike on the supreme leader was in planning for about 9 months. No, at the same time, Iran can't say they're completely innocent because they were doing bad things, we'll put it that way, during the course of it. But Iran want complete guarantees, and then they want control over that Strait of Hormuz. They don't want to give up their 2 million that they're now receiving for ships going through. They've created their own little tax, haven't they? So, yeah, it's a bit wild, isn't it? No. Let me see. We haven't got any on us yet. Anyway. Okay, so let me start another poll. Let me know if you bought, sold, or you haven't done anything today. I've just ran a poll there, guys. Also, is there any other opportunities you think we should go for at the moment? Is there anything that's exciting you guys? Do let me know. Yeah, we do have a buy order in there now. So, VU seems to be climbing again. That's telling me there is more good news coming out of Iran at the moment. Okay, just in 69% chance that Elon Musk SpaceX IPO next quarter. And they're looking to IPO at a valuation of approximately 1.75 trillion. We need to think about this, yeah? 1.75 trillion. Rocket Lab, America cap of 38 billion. ASTS, America cap 33 billion. I'm telling you, I said it, under $80, Rocket Lab is an absolute steal. Some people think it's overvalued. I am extremely bullish on Rocket Lab. What else been happening? Oh, Chris, I'm looking at that robot in the White House at the moment. There's nothing. Guys, would you have a household robot? Do you know like them Neos or a Optimus when you can purchased them. We were actually speaking this post stream last night. When we recorded our Archer Aviation podcast, we were actually speaking about it. Can we see everyone buying the likes of an Optimus? And I was like, if I bought an Optimus, I could actually have it run my farm for me, and I could sit down and create content, and I'm still achieving everything. The Optimus just doing it for me. I think it's going to be massive. I can't lie. My man wasn't baited Citrini into talking about OPTX single-handedly triggered a rally on it yesterday after hours. Sold and got back in Redwire lower and just got in ONDS. Rhino, it was you yesterday that was saying we should have bought into Redwire. We would have made a nice bit of money, so I do love it. Dave says I would for shoveling snow, mow lawns, etc. For shoveling snow, where do you live? I don't want to know your exact location because yes, I've had trouble with that on X. Even state or country. Do let me know, Dave. Redwire is honestly the most fair value play in space right now. Agree with you. I think it will reclaim $15 over the next year or so. 9.45 could have been a nice little buy at $9 yesterday. I thought it was a good buy. When Rhino said it, yes, a bit north of New York City. Love it. Do you get more snow around there? I never associate like of New York with immense snow, but then I see videos of it sometimes. I'm like, whoa, you guys do get quite a bit of snow. We don't get that much snow here. Even though if you look at the level, we're probably alongside like of New York. But the thing is, we have, I'm gonna say it right this time, the Gulf of America coming right in off the Atlantic Ocean, warms it up, warms up the air. We get beaten by the Atlantic, a lot of rain, a lot of wind, but not particularly snow. We got walloped this season. My God, more time for you to invest, isn't it? Sit back, relax, nice cup of tea, chill out. Chill out is probably the wrong word. Warm up. Chris, what happened with Velo? Did they report earnings? Down 19%. What's been happening with Velo today? Robinhood is up 6.47. We sold out at 7% up. However, could keep climbing. I do expect it to keep climbing. Worst performer off the S&P, guys. And I expected on good news that a relief in the war that Robinhood will start running up. IonQ, a lot of you are bullish on Quantum. Do we add into Quantum? EOS, I know it's a fan favorite. Could add some EOS. ASTI, Chris, do let me know. Do you think this is a good opportunity to get into Ascent Solar? I'm starting to get pretty excited about what they're doing. 451. Mark didn't like the margins and write-offs. I'm in a whole state. It's not adding but not selling. I need to find out the acquisition. Okay, thank you. Watch Optimus fall and slide down the hill instead of me. I love it. I sold off ASTI and TE to go harder at Ondas. You were just throwing the kitchen sink at Ondas. I love it. That puts us in a good standing with your conviction in Ondas. I love it. AMD's having a good day. Remember the big sell-off with AMD, and we said AMD will recover quite nicely. Like AMD still could be a buy because they're gonna fill that gap. I wouldn't like to buy into a 6% pump of AMD, but I do think AMD is a buy for anyone that's bullish on them. Yeah, that's an interesting one, actually. Archer seems to reclaimed the 550 level. We need it to finish end of week above 550. Joby seems to be nicely pushing back into that $9 range. I want Joby to push up to around 950. I want them to finish this week 950. Could be quite nice. Redwire coming back to 950. Might not be long before Redwire do get back. Could be a nice one. Guys, do smash that like button, especially if you've just jumped in. And also, see that reactions. Do keep smashing the reactions. Maybe do 100 reactions for me. It really makes my day. It makes YouTube love me that little bit more. Yeah. Lightpath is still higher conviction, but Ondas potential for the next 3 years is immense. Lightpath is a 26 play. Is Lightpath good entry at the moment? I know you've been talking about Lightpath for a while now. If this doesn't... Lightpath is up 3.8%. $10.50 seems to be a nice little entry into Lightpath. Currently trading at 12.33, 3.88% up. It's Chris's highest conviction play, but look, you've seen Chris many times. Not even over the past while. You've seen Chris over the past few days do calls for 39% up, 19% up, 13% up. Chris is making hella money lately. Accidentally deleted that comment trying to smash the bubbles. Lightpath is at the core of most US counter drone systems and excellent exposure to seeker missile scale ups through LMT. Chris, do you see with a de escalation in Iran, could we see the likes of Lightpath sell off, or with the likes of replenishment needed in these systems, do you think they're just going to keep pushing forward? That could be an interesting one. Yeah, I don't know. ADMA. Guys, who's bullish on ADMA? If not, I'm going to remove them from the watch list because I actually have not got a notion what's going on with ADMA. I know one of you guys did tell me to add it to the watch list. I keep reporting on it, but it is completely tanking. I have no notion what's going on with ADMA. So do let me know. AMPX seems to be pushing forward. Are we just going to build a nice little consolidation up here in the $17 to $18 range? Could. You ever try to put a cap back on a fire hydrant or irrigation riser without shutting off the branch valve? That's defense spending right now. Chris, you make me bullish on industries that I don't necessarily always follow, but Lightpath could be an interesting one. Guys, do jump in if you want us to get into Lightpath. Do let us know. Yeah, guys, do let me know. ADMA, I'm removing them right now. If you want me to add them back, do, but I just haven't a notion about them. This track says Lightpath has a diamond back glass. It protects helicopter pilots from people piloting lasers or pointing lasers at them and getting grounded for safety. I'm bullish this will become standard. That's two of you. Okay. Okay. 60% have bought today, and 40% have done nothing. Okay, let me see. Light path, guys. Do we enter into light path? Do let me know. That's not really accurate. Do jump back and give your response for that, Chris. So, did we manage to get Ondas? They have black diamond, chalcogenide glass, which is an alternative to germanium infrared sensors. Mate, you're like the salmon of knowledge, my guy. I don't think we managed to get into Ondas, did we? No, we're just going to keep that limit order open. Lightpath also has a rare earth play for their optics and hedges against dependence on China. I do like trading against China, not gonna lie. How do people feel about China in the markets? Do anyone actually invest in any Chinese stocks? Source interviewed the CEO and talked about it for an hour. Love it. Chris, will you send me on X, even in the group chat? Will you send me the link to that CEO interview? I want to listen to that because I know you are extremely bullish on Lightpath. So I want to find out a little bit more about them. Guys, Chris does interview a lot of CEOs, so make sure to follow him. They also sell optics to Ondas, and Ondas is invested in Lightpath. Ondas just have fingers in all pies in that industry, don't they? Germanium isn't a rare earth, it's a critical mineral. China controls germanium supplies. Okay. 2 votes. Yes, we should enter into Lightpath. I wonder who them 2 votes are. Guys, do vote in the poll. Should we enter into Lightpath? 1 person has just entered there. Do jump in. I'll give it 5 minutes or so. Should we enter into the Lightpath? Yes or no? Right. Let me jump across here. See what's going on in the market. There's nothing major. Oh, did you see Andril and Palantir actually got awarded it was a contract for the Golden Dome. But I don't know how much it was for. But yeah, Andril and Palantir got awarded a contract to build the Golden Dome. So anyone that's bullish on Andril for when they IPO, they're just turned into a massive juggernaut. And again, Palantir just seems to be snapping up contracts from the government left, right, and centre, don't they? Anyone in Palantir still? Just in, Russia reports possible operation that targets Iran's Kyrgyz Island. So Russia could be entering Kyrgyz Island. That's the last thing Iran need is their ally turning against them. And I hope it's not to defend Iran because we don't need conflict between the US and Iran. Well, that's going on. White House says the US economy will thrive after the war with Iran. Yeah, I completely agree. Iran will not end the war until it decides to do so, and with its own conditions being met. I disagree. I think US will turn your hand into submission. Not gonna lie. Yep. Ondas and Unusual Machines did an investment into Lightpath to scale their production. Since then, Sam has been building a beast across Florida, Latvia, and now Texas with the acquisition of Amprius. This gives them space grade sensors up to 17 inches. What is a good entry point for Lightpath is the question. Exactly, I'm happy with my size and it's a good top holding. BlackRock bought 190 million shares of Palantir below 10. BlackRock don't lose money, do they? Lightpath is in a consolidation channel. Good entries are around $11. Okay, so we're currently trading at like 12 something, aren't we? So maybe we'll wait until we hit that $11 range with Lightpath. Then, right, go across again. Smash them reactions really helps me out. Smashing them hearts, doing everything you can just to drive this stream forward. We have 47 with us live across X and YouTube. Big shout out, big thank you. If you're new here, smash that subscribe button. If you're new there on X, do smash that follow button. I'm going to start running more X spaces. Last night I've done my first one in a while, just speaking a little bit about Archer Aviation, seeing why we're pushing so low, why we're pushing, where we can see it going, how it can push forward. Is there anything to be worried about? Any acquisitions to be taking place where the business is going? Tonight, I will be running another spaces because I'm actually traveling to the UK tonight. So I will be running the next spaces while I'm traveling. Feel free to jump in, have a chat with me as well, whether it's about the market. Chris, if you're free actually later while I'm doing the X spaces, do jump on. I would love to get a chat with you about the drones. But yeah, opening bell tomorrow. I don't know, will I be there? Because I will be traveling all through the night to the UK. I'm driving across, so it's going to take me 4 hours to get up there, then the ferry across, then 4 hours drive the other side. So I may not do an opening bell, but I will be doing a market open like we're doing today. So I'll be there at some point tomorrow. I do promise you. I bought Olin today. Okay, let me have a look. Olin is quite flat in the day, but they did the last 2 days push up from $23. What do Olin do, my guy? Did I review this before? Distributes chemical products in the United States, Europe, Asia, Latin America, and Canada. Operates through 3 segments. However, you pronounce that: alkali products, vinyls, epoxy, and Winchester. Is this an ammunitions company, is it? Another defensive base, 7,849 employees, 3.14 billion market cap. Analyst rating, 14 of them are saying hold. And the price target is 22.93. I'm not too worried about the analyst price target. We're currently at a 52-week high. Mate, do let me know what is your thesis with Olin at the moment. Why are you buying at the 52-week high? Have they came out with something, or is it just to do with the conflict that's happening? I don't know enough about Olin to say that buying at a 52-week high would be a good idea, but you will know an awful lot more about it than I will. Walker Wonder Why, big shout out, my guy. Be interested to see how you get on. Good luck. Thank you so much. Yeah, we will be running X Spaces as we're going through. But look, I'm bringing all my equipment with me. I'll be bringing my 2 lights, camera, 3 monitors, and yeah, the whole lot be coming with me. So yeah, it will be exciting. But look, $2 there. I'm going to put that $2 straight into the portfolio. And anytime we get a chat like that, we'll put it straight into the portfolio. So that'll be $2 entering the portfolio now. So thank you so much. I really appreciate it, my guy. Big shout out. Distractant says ammunition and chemicals to process rare earths. Okay. Olin sells ammunition to the military. So are you just banking on that this conflict continue? This is me being completely naive. Are you banking on this conflict continues? And they sell ammunition to the military. Do they sell ammunition to the conflict in the likes of the Ukraine war? It's just me thinking on the top of my head in the Ukraine war as well, because are we going to see a reduction? Or again, this is another question. Is it that they're going to need to replenish after all this fighting that's been going on? Right now, Velo is probably at the best entry, but could dip further. Velo is down 19.53%. You were quite bullish on Velo, weren't you? I am thinking that an entry point. Ooh, I don't know if I want to go into that downtrend, my guy. You could be seeing a recovery there. If it holds, you'd be really risking it into that hold, wouldn't you? I think we're at a make or break point with Velo, whether we do a reversal into a downtrend. But that's only just looking at it from there. Walker Wonder Why is a big fan of rare earths. Do give me a shout on what stock you're biggest into them, my guy. For the mining plays, the ones I'm watching are NB for Space Allies and PPTA for anti-money, not Indo. Look at what Olin did in 2022. I think we are going to trend like we did with the Ukraine-Russia conflict. So again, they do supply in the Ukraine-Russia conflict. Could be an interesting one. I don't know if I'd buy into an all-time high, especially when I don't have a Scooby-Doo what's going on with Olin. Oh, I see where. Yeah, I can see what you're saying. But I think this is completely different to Ukraine. But look, I could be wrong there. MP, let's have a look at MP. No. Okay, MP's at a nice level. I actually think MP's a buy. $9.51 billion market cap. Oh, this is gonna take an age, innit? There we go. I don't know why it does this, where it'll speed up, slow down. We do have a bit of a storm up here at the moment. 9.47 billion market cap. MP, together with its subsidiaries, produces rare earth materials in the Western Hemisphere. The company operates in two segments, materials and magnetics. The materials segment owns and operates the Mountain Pass rare earth mine and processing facility near Mountain Pass, and it's in California. 998 employees. Analysts are saying it's a buy up 7 E850 for each of them. Price to revenue 23.44. Okay. Currently trading at 53. Total revenue has shot up. Q4 $503.701 million. Cost sales was 69. So the gross profit is sitting at 34. Operating profit is negative 0.2. Non-operating income 10.793. EBITDA 45.42. Okay. I think these are a buy, guys. $1.83 billion in cash and short-term investments, 2.1 in assets. Total assets is 4.01. Current liabilities is 299. Short-term debt 74. Long-term debt 951. 1.318 billion. Right, I like this one. I like this one, and I think you're sitting right in your buy zone. Yeah, like, I think you found a floor there at 50. You've an all-time high of 100. I think for a mid-term trader, if you're a long-term investor, I think MP Materials. If you're into rare earths, I think MP Materials is a buy right now, guys. Anyone bullish on MP Materials? I think they are a nice buy right now. Yeah, do let me know what you guys think. Shamath made the bag on MP. That was my investment thesis. Oh, I'm not a fan of that Shamath guy, you know. This track, no, I'm interested. Olin also does chlorine, which is really important for desolation plants and war. War is going to be trending soon. I played MP, you, sir, Eric, and you last summer. Familiarize yourself with the lesson curves to assess mining stocks. I bought MP today, and you is good. Let's have a look at you. Energy fuels, guys. That's a buy. Just looking at the chart, that is a buy. That's an inverse head and shoulder, no. 4.54 billion market cap. I think that's gonna soar, not gonna lie. Sold some VG to diversify into stuff that has room to grow. Oh yeah, I remember you talking about Venture Global, actually. Yeah, Could they reclaim that $19 potentially? I don't know. I like to see Yo for a quad U. I can also drive their A160 reopened a mothballed copper mine not so far away. Brownfield mining exploration is a common major theme. You guys seem to be well into that rare earth mining. It's not something I ever really thought about, not gonna lie. Let me actually run a poll on that. Okay, so 50% says enter light path, 50% say no. So what I'm gonna do when we get 50% polls, we're going to go with the side of no because we're gonna say we're undecided. Is that okay? Okay, so jump into that poll. Are you bullish on rare earths? Yes, no, or you don't know enough about the sector. I sit in the camp of I don't know enough about the sector. So that's me being completely honest. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to say I'm an expert in this sector at all. I told you about rare earths back in the day when you were doing market opens, and it was pretty much you and I there for a week. Do you know what? Vast, you have supported us all the way through, haven't you, my guy? Chris, don't I wish I followed you an awful lot more with some of the picks you have suggested to me over the time I have known you. I can't believe that CVV the last day that actually made me laugh so much. The S&P seems to be holding that 0.5% off, sitting at 0.6, Ondas down 1.87%, Zeta up 1.05. Vas says since British Jim Cramer. Do you know what, Chris? I remember that. Did you ever watch British Jim Cramer back in the day, or did you just see it and then you realized who we were talking about? That was funny, guys. Do let me know. Do you remember the days of British Jim Cramer where we called out the egghead himself? That was a funny video. I actually really enjoyed that. UMAC down 3.18%. UMAC actually seems to be recovering a little bit. I do remember. Yeah, so I found a bottom there, didn't I? Archer, didn't we say that 350 just, or that 550 just seems to be that level where it is unsure whether to pass it. I think we will drop below it. 905, Joby needs to hold this $9 range. I don't want it to go any lower. Red wire, 1.22. Okay, so we're getting back into that buy range for red wire. Should we re-enter into red wire? I don't know. PANW down 1.39. Nvidia 1.93% up. Tesla, again, remember we called out a 372 as a decent buy. Went all the way down to 364, but you would have made some nice money there. 388. I only found out about him from you guys. He's not as big as he claims to be. Wouldn't be surprised if he has an engagement for him in Bangladesh. Wouldn't surprise me either, because some of our live streams will be as busy as his, and we're like, I don't know, like 50 times smaller than him. So yeah, it wouldn't surprise me either. Horizon Aircraft. Remember I said 140 is that next range. We drop below this 140. I think retail, it's going to show who has the bollocks, who is going to let it hang, who is going to not be afraid. They all said they're long-term investors. We will see who is a long-term investor through this, because once we clear that 140, we either drop like a pebble again. Like I said, at 180, we'll drop. If we drop below 140, we will drop like a pebble. Unless we have strong-minded retail investors sitting in there. Lunar up 15.29%, so it seems to be cooling off a little bit, but is it getting ready for another push up? Look at CVV chart. Something new is brewing. So again, you think it may run again. Up another 4%. Where were CVV originally? Like, if it clears this level, you've probably found a base there, haven't you? And look at the volume on that. I'm holding through to next earnings. I'll be honest, I ain't buying into something that pumped 39% and still climbing. But if it clears these levels, that is your new floor. You never sold CVV. They have a capital floor through their next real estate holdings. Okay. I wouldn't buy in either. We agree on a stock VACNC. Are you bullish on rare earth? 60% says yes, 20% says no, and 20% says don't know enough about the sector. I'm in the camp of I don't know enough about the sector, but like, it's a community portfolio, so I do trust your guys' opinion too. ONDS. We managed to get ONDS, guys. So we're now 20% of our portfolio is now ONDS. We have 9.3 shares of them. We managed to reduce our cost basis from 1097, I believe, to 1077. So we're down currently 3.1%, but look, we'll hold it through there. Horizon Aircraft seems to be floating around this level of 145. We have an average of 145. I don't particularly want to buy anymore until we kind of get an idea where it's going. I may miss an opportunity, but I'm willing to take the risk of that opportunity. UMAC, I am down 5.9%, going towards 6%, but look, it's the name of the game, isn't it? We did make some nice profit on Rocket Lab and Robinhood, so it swings and roundabouts, isn't it? We've made our portfolio look red today. March 30th is the earnings call. Our earnings call announced for CVV. Okay, that'll be an interesting one to keep an eye on 5 days away. Keep an eye on CVV's earnings. Then let me just quickly run across. Guys, do smash that like button while I am just checking something out here. And also, again, them reactions, smash it about 100 more times for me. Really helps me out in these live streams. Right. So have Redwire just brought out something? Redwire have just announced Redwire teams have performed multiple and successful testing milestones for ELSA, a new high performance low mass solar array, building upon the success of ROSA. Solar arrays. This is why I think Ascent Solar is exciting, but Redwire seems to be doing quite nicely, and Rocket Lab seem to have their own, and SpaceX are going for their own as well. Yeah, everyone's talking about space stocks ripping at the moment. Everyone's about SpaceX. Is anyone bullish on HIMS? I know quite a few people have made a nice amount of money with HIMS options on HIMS, but it's not something I've ever really thought about getting into on a serious level. Like SoFi as well. I know loads are excited about SoFi. I'm bullish on SoFi over the long term, but yeah. Apparently, Bell Flight has assembled the feather of the new spaceship at Virgin Galactic. Is anyone starting to get excited about Virgin Galactic again? Is it going to go for another run? I'm bullish for Virgin Galactic as in I want it to do well, but I would not buy into it unless you guys made me. I'm red on the day as well, too much in Ondas and UMAC. And Velo. Don't know much about HIMS. SoFi is a tough one. No interest in finance, software, or healthcare myself. Healthcare doesn't really interest me. Like I've said, by trade, I am an animal scientist. So pharmaceuticals and healthcare and food industry should really excite me. But it doesn't. It really doesn't, my guy. What do I think of Celsius? Like we can look at Celsius. I know Matt Money is quite big on Celsius, isn't he? So Celsius is down 2.55%. CVV looks good, silicon processing is the biggest monopoly. You'd want to be holding this range anyway, between 36 and $38, but that seems to be falling off, doesn't it? Celsius Holdings Q4 revenue was it 117% positive year over year. EBITDA beat estimates. Company sites Meta Plus Formula shares plunged 26.2. But they beat on earnings. Their guidance must have been shocking, was it? If they seem to hold this level, they might be a nice little buy. But like, if you miss 33, you're probably going to around $25 or so. Then $20. And then anywhere from 14 to 12, I'd say. Yeah. If you're bullish on them long term, it could be a nice little buy right now. But yeah. CVV has competition from Wolf, but Wolf has been fumbling the bag on their scale out. What makes CVV interesting is their education, penetration, and open system telemetry for process knowledge. 57% of you are bullish on rare earths, 14% no, and 29% don't know enough. Oh, I've a good one for you then. Right, only lets me put 4 options. So, what is your favorite industry? Space, because look, I'm interested in space. Transport, and you know what? You can throw your drones into transport. Maybe throw your. I should have put defense as well, shouldn't I? Somewhere. Healthcare and pharma, or AI and computing. Do let me know. This track says I have Celsius, but I absolutely love Dutch Brothers. Look at Dutch Bro earnings. They're the best coffee model. That is one that Matt Money is extremely bullish on, isn't it? I've never seen a Dutch Bros in real life. How do these compare to Costa when it comes to price, experience, etc.? Costa and Starbucks. Like, I genuinely, hand on heart, I don't know anything about Dutch Bros. How does it compare? Most of my book is in atmosphere or orbit. Not gonna lie, so is mine. To be fair, yeah, you're drones in space, aren't you? I just think space is like now's the time. It's like now or never, isn't it? So yeah, AI and computing's another really big one. 60% says space, 40% says transport. No one's massive in healthcare and pharma. I was quite surprised that no one in AI and computing. That does surprise me, to be fair. Right, what's being happening? Horizon Aircraft's really testing the waters at that 140 range, isn't it? I think we're going to consolidate down here a little bit. Maybe one last push up before we test the water for a breakthrough off that 140 level. I'll be honest. I'll be real in this portfolio. I'll probably just swing trade it. So if we push up towards 160, I'll be jumping out. Just to make a bit of money in this portfolio. HTI down 3.3%, EOS down 0.69. The quantums are starting to fall back a little bit after a good day yesterday. INFQ is up 9.56, FEIM up 10.18. SoFi just seems to be quite flat. Again, Velo seems to be falling like a pebble. Yeah. And Hood up 6.12, so we did get out of Hood at a nice time. APLD data centers I've been watching for a year. I wish I bought. Let's have a look. Applied Digital. You've been watching them for a year. So you were in the $3 range. That could have been a nice little 10x. I feel sorry for you. Yeah, so really, like, if I wanted to get in there, $25 would be, but I think we're going to consolidate here, and I think we're going to continue a push up. Not going to lie. So I think Applied Digital Corporation is a decent buy right now. Yeah, if I wanted to get in, I'd say probably around $25 is where I would want to enter. My AI compute play are CVV, SHMD, and Velo High Process Knowledge defensible equipment, plus multi-sector exposure. See Jernigan. Look, I feel your pain massively. I was in Robinhood at 850, sold it out at 1150, thinking I'm an absolute genius. And yeah, we know where Robinhood ran to. Like, even if I sold it at today's thing, it was nearly a 10x, but Robinhood went all the way up to like 150 at one stage. So no, I feel your pain massively. Same with Palantir. Same with ASTS. We were covering ASTS at like 280 or so. You can go back and watch our videos on it. But I was more bullish on Rocket Lab, and to be fair, I did get a 10x on Rocket Lab easily. So yeah. My plays I sold too soon last year were APLD, and AEVA. Who are AV? Is this them here, Chris? Oh, AEVA. EVA. Oh, that ran as well, didn't it? And you're looking at it a year ago. $3, and what's it go up to? 39. So again, like 13x, was it? If I was getting into them now, anything around 1250 to around 1350, I think would be a great buy for them. But yeah, I could see them continuing up. Not gonna lie. If you're new here, do smash that subscribe button. We have $500, 5,000 people growing this portfolio to 100,000 and beyond. So I can't wait to share it with you. What are we at now? Oh, it's updated. Did it? We're at 509.57. What's going on? Okay, do you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to trust the net liquidity rather than trust this chart, because I'm not too confident. I think this chart updates maybe once a day or so. If someone knows how to update this chart, do let me know. But we're going to go off net liquidity. I bought at 4 and sold at 6. Maybe 50%. Yeah, you done better than I done in Robinhood that time. So no, do you know what? Sure, you made 50%. It's not a 12x, but yeah, Liz. You should do a short where you say that you are the 10x stock channel. Do you know the only problem is, yeah, if I go on the 10x stock channel, I'm starting to get into meme territory there, and I'm starting to get into lack of trust, because I'm not guaranteeing people, but people are expecting me to find them a 10x. And in reality, the only 10x that I've had is Rocket Lab. So until I can prove it out that I constantly get 10x's, I wouldn't be comfortable saying that I 10x stocks, because that would really be false advertising. That's the worst thing I can do. Yes, we're at more or less 5,000 subs now, but the worst thing I genuinely can do is start saying that I'm 10x in positions when I'm not, and I'll be found out very, very quickly. That's what British Jim Cramer does. That's what Egghead himself does. He promises the world. He said, what did he say? I seen a post on X that he said he has information that Donald Trump. No, this is him saying it before someone clips me, that Donald Trump is market manipulating. And I was like, you are brave to put that out on X. You know what the US can be like with putting stuff about the administration up like that, and that is a wild accusation to make. Yeah, chasers are the worst buying the top and bitching all the way down. I agree with you. The problem is they'll all come in. They'll be my best friend when it's all going up, and when it's all going down, we'll be the biggest hated. Fair point. No, honestly, this track, always feel free to share your thoughts on how you think we can grow or how you think we can make this better. That's what I love about this whole journey, if you get me. People able to share their points across. The only reason I don't really want to do that 10x thing is I think I'd be lying to people, not gonna lie. He is information we all do. It's in okay, my guy. Vu, seems to be recovering. Will we go 1% up on the day? Could be quite nice, but I think we'll finish around 0.5% up, being realistic. Ondas, yeah, seems to be holding up quite nicely. 1045. Can we consolidate around here, hopefully, and get ready for another leg up over the coming months? Zeta up 1.05. That pushed up quite nicely and then started falling back again. Iran is 0.79% down. UMAC 3.88% down. Archer fighting with that 550 range. Joby 0.4%. It's going to start fighting with that $9 range pretty soon. Redwire, I'm telling you, we hit $9. I'm getting back into Redwire. This track says, this is all freezing out on me again. There we go. Just for clicks, you can actually explain how hard it is. We get a fine line between getting people to click and disappointing them very quickly. And you only get one first impression. If I tell them I'm 10x and then they've went over their way to click and I say, you know, it's actually pretty hard to 10x. Funny, I've done it once. They will annihilate me. But no, I agree with you. My Ondas target was $15 for end of this week. From a month ago, I may fall a bit short. I was going to say, respectable. Yeah, maybe it will. It might fall quite a bit short of that. But yeah, no, it's okay. I love optimism. I love optimism a lot more than I hate pessimism. So $15 for the end of the week a month ago was a 50% run in a month. I do love it though. Did the conflict influence you in that $15 run? Do let me know. Did it play a massive part in it? Going back to the poll, 57% are their favorite industry is space. 29% favorite industry is transport. And 14% their favorite industry is AI and computing. What's going on across on X at the moment? Oh, X have just launched a feature where you can restrict replies to posts by region. I could have done with that a few weeks ago. I can't even lie. Yeah, guys, you're not bullish on Rocket Lab. They have crossed $2 billion in backlog, by the way. Intuitive Machines have been awarded a $180.4 million contract to deliver 7 payloads to the lunar South Pole region. This is why we're pushing forward, guys. That happened a day ago. So they have 7 operations there. We've seen 2 missions already from them. One I'm not going to call successful. One I'm going to call partially successful. You could, in theory, call the 2 partially successful. But hopefully they've learned and we're going for 3rd time lucky. And if not, we're going at that rate for 9 times lucky. Are you bullish on the moon? Is the moon something that excites you? Do you know what? Outside of investing, the moon really excites me anyway. So, of course, I'm going to play into it with the space investing too. Breaking news, 30 plus NATO allies are now moving to secure the Strait of Hormuz. So it looks like NATO have had enough as well, and they're going to assist Trump in reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Look, we don't want to be paying $2 billion per ship to pass through there. We can't let Iran do that, because in reality, what they're doing is bully their way into getting revenue, getting tax for themselves. ONDS will pop when the USA government agrees to reopen Homeland Security. More for the guidance acquisitions and DHS opening. DHS still stalled out. The World Cup contracts are what I've been watching for and positioned around. Lunar, Redwire, and VOYG are my moon basket. I'm still watching Big Bear AI due to airport security, and World Cup won't touch Firefly yet. Let's look at Big Bear AI, because I know some guys Big Bear AI, but I've never got in myself. Is that the biggest flip flop of the stock? It just goes up and down, doesn't it? I don't know. It's broken through that level and could continue. I don't know if I'd be jumping into Big Bear. Redwire just touched 907. Okay. I don't touch Big Bear AI Temu Palantir. I just don't like what that chart's doing at the moment with Big Bear AI. I'm on the Redwire chart now. The only thing is, we do continue this downtrend, but I think we're set to reverse. Especially with all this news coming out around the moon. Like, if we hold this level for the next while, I actually think we're going to soar forward. And I think the catalyst with the fundamentals of the excitement around the moon with SpaceX IPOing, I do think it's massive, massive catalyst coming forward to. We don't know when Redwire gets contracts. When Redwire gets contracts, they're big contracts. So I do think this could move forward. And like, if you think, I'm only thinking about a $15 exit point on my Redwire for this portfolio, whereas like the all-time high, we're all the way up at 26. Redwire could be a nice little buy right now, guys, especially the fact that space stocks have shot up, and Redwire in reality is sitting quite flat. I'm going to put up a poll again. Redwire. Do we jump in to Redwire? We need more than a 50% of yes to get into Redwire. I said if we get 50% yes, 50% no, that means undecided, and we call it a no. So far, 100% say yes. We'll leave that up for about 5 minutes, then we'll decide what to do. They get regular contracts. They do indeed, my guy. You said Big Bear AI at 750. Institutional support for Big Bear AI is at 425. Eva Brown about to go live at the White House for a press conference. They get regular contracts. Right, let's see what we're saying. 4 votes, 75% say yes, going to Redwire. 25% say no. Let that vote settle out, guys. Have your say. You control the portfolio. You don't want me to do it, make sure to hit no. If you're very excited about what Redwire are doing, you want me to get into Redwire, make sure to jump in and have your say. You guys control this whole portfolio. Start at $500. What are we? We're at 510. we're going to say this chart is wrong. We're at 510. So, yeah, what's that? 2% up in a day when we only deployed 50% of our capital yesterday. We currently now have, 60% in cash remaining. I think we've done okay for a day, 2% up. What do you think, guys? Let me see what else is going on in the industry. Iran have just come out and said Strait of Hormuz will not open or not be the same as it was before the war. And what they mean about that is they are going to be charging their $2 million per ship. And the problem is, if they agree to them having this illegal, we'll call it tax, on these ships coming through, what's stopping them from changing it from 2 million to 4 million next week? Like, this cannot happen. They cannot just charge, because what's stopping all the other countries having a bit of a charge going through that whole strait? It just really confuses me how they think they can get away with that. But right, guys, do jump in, vote. Yes, no. Do you want us to jump into Redwire? We need a unanimous decision on whether to jump into Redwire or not. Apparently, Tesla and Meta have identical market caps right now. Interesting one. I'm more bullish on Tesla than I am on Meta. I'm actually quite disappointed in Meta, the way they not that I was extremely bullish on the metaverse, I wasn't, but they poured $80 billion into the metaverse and then decided to pull it 3 years later. Till like 5 years later. I think it was 21, wasn't it? But they're now going really hard after AI, but I feel like they do need to do something, don't they? What's happening? Iran now reckon they've shot down a F-18 fighter jet. I'm looking at it here. Just before the impact, the camera turns off. So something's telling me that you're either extremely unlucky that you've turned the camera off just at time of impact, or you never did. Who receive Lowbrow's joke about the Führer's girlfriend. Right. We still have 75% say yes. 25% say no. Ooh. Vaccine C says 50,000 US troops assigned. Are we going to see a turn in the market? Or is the market baked this in? Has the market accepted that we may get a relief in the conflict? Or has the market just baked in we may just have troops on the ground? Do let us know. Right, we have 53 of you between X and YouTube at the moment. Okay. Right, so. Ooh. 60% say yes, buy into Redwire. 40% say no. I'm going to leave it up for 2 more minutes and then we'll decide what to do. Make sure to vote. Do we jump into Redwire? Do we save the money to fight another day? Do let me know. Vu seems to be looking quite healthy today. 0.7% up. Ondas down 2.25 after a good earnings. Zeta 1.36 up. Iron down 0.63. UMAC down 3.84%. Archer sitting quite flat. Again, fighting with that 550 range. Joby, we don't want it to push below $9, especially not towards the end of the week. Redwire sitting quite flat on the day, 0.22 when space stocks are flying up. We have a poll up at the moment. Do jump in and let us know. See, Jernigan says, I don't believe they shot down anything. Yeah, I completely agree with you. Sure, they've nothing left to really shoot it down, do they? I voted yes, but I wouldn't myself. VOYG is the most interested. I'm not in. Wait, you voted yes, but you wouldn't yourself? What do you mean by that? Tesla. That's confused me. You voted yes, but you genuinely wouldn't yourself. Tesla up 1.40. Horizon Aircraft. I don't know. Horizon Aircraft. Intuitive Machines, we have got that contract for them 7 landers. Chaos Agent. ATAI up 6.80%. Beta. We haven't seen Wild Saddle today. Beta is up 4.22. I seen he did put a comment asking a question about why the eVTOLs are up today. Whole industry is up today. Planet Labs up 13.51. AMPX up 3.10. Rocket Lab still holding that around 10% up. ASTI down 3.52. EOS down 0.8. No, the quantum seemed to be falling 1.38 down, 2.98 and 1.28, the three big boys. INFQ down, or not down, it's up 9.32%. FEIM is up 10.81%. Well, IBRX up 10.18%. By is 0.18% up. Velo had a brutal day, down 20%. And then Robinhood, we sold out at 7% up. It is now 5.36% up. Vas says, I'm at my max allocation, back down to 10 after selling off my solar place. Okay, my guy. 6 votes, 67% says yes in Redwire, 33% says no. I think we're going into Redwire, my guys. So let's go back to portfolio. If we make money on this, this is Rhino's doing. If we lose money on this, this is my doing. Big thank you to Rhino for suggesting this. Okay, so Redwire at the moment is sitting at 906. I'd be happy if we get it on a flat. Rhino got more at 905. We're currently 5, which is flat. So will we attempt to get in at 904? Sitting at 904, we attempt to get in at 903. Let's see. Okay. It seems to be bouncing there. Let's go in for 904 and we'll see what happens. And look, we're starting to run back up. We'll see what happens there. We have a limit order in for Redwire. Voss likes Voyager for their solid rockets, moon dust coatings, RF, and hardened processors. The space station is an OTM call option. And on shaky ground with the NASA space station backtrack. And you like CEO. Yeah, we could look at Voyager as well. Okay, so we have Redwire for 904. That's perfect. So, yeah. Siege Energy just bought 800 more shares of Horizon Aircraft 143. Okay. I'm gonna see what happens with Horizon Aircraft. I don't want to overexpose myself in Horizon. I know I did with Ondas earlier. I'm not going to be buying any more Ondas until we can make a bit of money elsewhere now, but we'll see what happens. Redwire is down to 903 here, so hopefully we get our order executed at some point. VOYG also has optical terminals. I like Redwire for the solar mostly. Space wins, Redwire wins. Okay, we got into Redwire. So we're in Redwire right now. Let's come back here. We'll end that poll. 71% finished off saying they wanted to get into Redwire. No. Let me say. No pun intended. Interactive Media says, damn bro, you still here? Look, the whole aim of this project, once I get it off the ground, will be I will be here during market openings, because the way the times fit here in Ireland, at the moment, the market opens at 1:30. From the 29th, the market opens at 2:30. So I can get on with my day work from around 5:30 in the morning till 2:30, and then I can run while the market's open. Interactive Media says, nice job on Horizon Aircraft. But yeah, hopefully we get this whole project off the ground and we'll see where it goes. Anyone that's just came in, we have just bought into Redwire. Now you're going to wonder why the price average is up here. It's all to do with the brokerage as well. With Robinhood, I believe you get, is it 0 fees? With interactive brokers, there's a few fees added on as well. But yeah, so our average is now 913 in Redwire. Ondas, we're sitting at 1077. Horizon Aircraft 145, and Unusual Machines 1545. A lot of CNC. I think it's going to hover around 150 and up from there. No pun intended. It didn't post my message. No problem at all. Yeah, I think we're going to touch 160 or so again. I'm intending to swing trade it at 160 and then re-enter again. That's not because I'm not bullish on Horizon Aircraft. It's because we have a portfolio that we started with $500, and even if I held it for the long term, we're not going to make that much $500. So I need to keep swing trading until it happens. You're going to be swinging mostly or long term anything. As we start building out, yes, we will be starting to progress into long term. At the moment, it's going to be a lot of swinging, because until we start actually having a nice amount of capital here, there's no point in me long term at the moment. However, what I might do, if Walker is still there, do you know what? Any super chats like that, he can decide where that $2 goes. Does it go into a long term investment? Does it go into a swing trade? And I think that'll be a lot more interesting. The problem is, if I just go full long-term investing with $500, it is going to be very, very boring for everyone here. It's not going to be as exciting. Yes, it's not the best way to do it, but at the same time, it's the only way I'm going to get it up and off the ground. At the moment, I will be adding to this portfolio weekly. We're going to set a amount I should add weekly. I don't want it to be anything unrealistic because we need to keep it grounded to everyday retail investors and show that we can build this portfolio naturally. We don't need to supplement it artificially any more than an average retail investor would. That way, we will get a true reflection on ourselves as a community. At a moment of just below 5,000 of us, can we beat the market? VAS only really swings on options. Keep my comms long. Don't invest in anything without a strong thesis that I try to challenge. Often the thesis needs to be always competing. I agree. Liam, I'd like to see you focus just on eVTOLs than becoming just another analyst. We need that niche. 100%. Like we can. The only thing is, I have quite a bit of a following in the rocket lab space too. And we see here, disagree, eVTOLs died last fall. So we are going to continue out. Look, as I get over this sickness, I will be going back to creating videos after my live streams as well. So the eVTOLs will keep growing, and we will grow as an eVTOL channel too. And that's why we have the likes of Dylan, and we have Goat Gains on board now. So eVTOLs will keep growing. We will dominate in that eVTOL space, but at the same time, yeah, we will be progressing out. And I know that might be disappointing for anyone that is solely into eVTOLs, but at the same time, I can't sit here for X amount of hours a day just talking about eVTOLs. It'll get very boring very quickly too, because there's only so much we can cover too, and I feel like we do that every single day as is. So supplementing it then with increased live streams would be hard. And the problem is, if we concentrate only on eVTOLs, we've seen the amount of people we've had through these streams at the moment talking about all different stocks. None of them be interested. So I appreciate you need me to focus on eVTOLs. I do agree. I will have a strong push on eVTOLs. We will dominate the eVTOL sector. I promise you, we will maintain the status that we are the biggest channel in the eVTOLs, and we'll continue to grow that out and make it bigger. But yeah, we will continue with this project. Jernigan, I'm going to try and swing trade with you. This year, the day trading rule changes. 2K will be allowed to day trade. I'm so happy. Do you know what? I appreciate it so much. Not financial advice, so don't be following what I'm doing. I know you probably will be, but I'm not suggesting it. But yeah, see Jernigan, do let me know how you get on. And if you do anything different to me, do let me know. And yeah, we can learn from each other. See, we could even start doing like who performed best on the day, maybe, across the whole chat. That could be interesting too. eVTOLs are still interesting, just not a compelling theme in the market. 2027 will be a different story. Yeah, I agree. I think we will continue to push eVTOLs out. I want to do a few things with Dylan, and I feel like Dylan has some great ideas to help take the eVTOL side of the channel forward. And I'd love Dylan to be able to create his own videos if that is something Dylan is up for. If not, we can continue doing even more joint videos together. And yeah, if guys like me doing individual videos on the eVTOLs, I can continue doing that too. So guys, just do let me know. Keep in touch with me. That's one thing. Unless people say something, I'm just going off my own accord, and until people correct me or want me to pivot, I can't do anything. So yeah. You're doing great. I watched ACHR stream yesterday. Thank you so much, C. Jernigan. It's fun doing it together. Yeah, that ACHR podcast, I do enjoy that. And it has been quite nice. Like, me and Dylan do eVTOL weekly on a Sunday. No, I didn't do it this Sunday. I was sick, but we normally do eVTOL weekly every Sunday, and we've done that for the last year and a half now. But it's been a nice little addition bringing Goat Gains in. Like, Goat Gains a good friend of ours, and we've been chatting a lot on X, and then bringing him in on the team, on the Hustle Brothers to do the ACHR Aviation podcast has been quite good. We've been doing it for a month straight now, the ACHR Aviation podcast. So yeah, we will keep dominating in that eVTOL space. We do still plan to roll out a Joby Aviation podcast and now Horizon Aircraft. We probably will only do once a month because there's just not an awful lot of space. And then we were thinking about maybe doing one interview with Brandon a month if that's something he'd be up for. Could be exciting for you guys too. I love to follow the sector, though even if I'm not invested, I highly value you all maintaining coverage through the desert days. Fast. I can say the same with you about drones. You do great work in the space, and no, I just love the eVTOL space, and I will continue pushing out through it. Love Goat Gain's voice. He needs to do commercials, doesn't he? He's like Morgan Freeman. I love it. Interactive Media says Eva Brown, oh my god, I'm really developing a thing for Caroline Lever. The way she defends the master is so freaking love it. Right, guys, I have been here for a while. What I might do, I might call a day on the stream, and I may be back an hour prior to closing bell, and we can see what's going on there. Overall, we're up about 2% in the day on our portfolio. We currently have about 50% still being held in cash. Current positions are UMAC, Horizon Aircraft, Ondas, and Redwire. UMAC, we're down 6.1%. Horizon Aircraft, we're down 1.7%. Ondas, we're down 2.1%, and Redwire, we're down 1%. Now, it seems like it has been a bad day. However, it hasn't. We made 10% on Rocket Lab. We made 7% on Robinhood. You're going to wonder why I sold out of Rocket Lab. It is one of my biggest passions. We have to be ruthless. And yes, we have said we're going to have to do a lot of swing trading. We're going to supplement the portfolio like a retail investor would. And also, I need to thank our friend Walker Wonder Why for the $2 super chat. Any super chats, what we're going to do, that's going to be added straight into the portfolio. And Walker Wonder Why, if you do enter this stream again, let me know. Do you want that $2 to go into a long-term position and you can pick the position? Or do you want it to be added to the pot and we just keep going forward as and when? I'm going to probably need an Excel sheet for when it comes around. What I'm keeping as long-term, what we're keeping as short-term. Because, yeah, it will get a little bit confusing. But, yeah, we'll see how it goes as we push out. Will Rocket Lab go below $60? Okay, we'll quickly look at that for you. Rocket Lab has so much good news at the moment. Then we have SpaceX IPO as well. I don't know. I think we're hit quite a nice level here. Yeah, I think we're getting ready for our next leg up. Not gonna lie. If we hit 65 again, we may go down. but I'm not confident we'll hit 65 again. I think we'll get ready for that next rally up. Will we push towards the all-time high? Potentially. We're seeing a nice bit of consolidation there. I expect us to go straight back up. Some people are saying we're overvalued. Like, if we fall past that 65 range, we potentially could go towards like 52, and then we're sort of looking like $40 type of range. I'm not too worried. I think Rock Lab are performing. Guys, do smash that like on the way out, and also smash that subscribe. And also, before you go, please, one thing for me. See the reactions at the bottom of the screen. It really shows that people enjoyed the stream. So just keep reacting. Hit it about 200 times before you exit. Right, guys. Thank you so much. As always, maybe back later. If I'm not, I will be running an X Spaces because I am traveling to the UK later. And tomorrow's stream, I'll be in a different location, but I'm bringing my equipment with me. So, right, guys. Until then, we will see you.